Maya learned how to fade into the background before she ever understood that she was doing it. From an early age, she noticed that the loud ones were questioned, the bold ones were corrected, but the quiet ones were praised. Quiet meant obedient. Quiet meant safe. So Maya chose quiet. She learned to observe instead of participate, to nod instead of argue, to shrink instead of stand tall. Slowly, invisibility became her shield, even as it erased her presence. As she grew older, this habit shaped every part of her life. In classrooms, Maya knew the answers but kept her hand lowered, afraid that her voice might shake or her words might come out wrong. In friendships, she became the dependable one, the listener who absorbed everyone else's problems while never unloading her own. People trusted her, leaned on her, but rarely truly saw her. In her career, she worked tirelessly, believing that dedication alone would speak for her. But effort without self-advocacy kept her overlooked, her contributions quietly absorbed by others. Inside, Maya carried a constant conflict. She felt capable of more, dreamed of more, yet lived as if she were meant to take up as little space as possible. Each day felt like walking with invisible weights tied to her shoulders. She told herself that patience was strength, that endurance was noble, that one day someone would notice her value without her having to ask. But days turned into years, and that day never came. At night, when the world finally went quiet, Maya's thoughts grew loud. She replayed conversations she wished she had handled differently, moments where she should have spoken but didn't. She imagined a version of herself who spoke with confidence, who didn't apologize before every sentence, who didn't feel guilty for wanting more. Those thoughts both inspired and terrified her. Change meant risk, and risk threatened the fragile stability she had built around herself. The turning point wasn't dramatic. There was no single event that shattered everything. It was a slow realization sparked by yet another moment of being dismissed. As someone else took credit for her work, something inside Maya hardened, not into bitterness, but into clarity. She understood, finally, that silence was no longer protecting her. It was limiting her. Waiting to be chosen was another way of choosing to remain invisible. Maya began to challenge herself in small, uncomfortable ways. She spoke up once when it would have been easier to stay quiet. She shared an idea without immediately doubting it. She said no without explaining herself a dozen times. Each act felt foreign, even wrong, but it also felt honest. Her voice trembled at first, but it didn't disappear. With every attempt, it grew steadier. Not everyone welcomed this new version of Maya. Some people preferred the old one, the agreeable one, the one who never pushed back. Their discomfort hurt, but Maya was learning that discomfort was part of growth. She realized that being respected often matters more than being liked. The more she honored her own boundaries, the more she began to trust herself. Over time, her inner shift began to reflect outwardly. Her posture changed. Her words carried intention. She no longer waited for permission to exist fully. Opportunities began to appear, not because the world suddenly became fair, but because Maya was finally visible within it. She claimed her space, calmly and without apology. Maya also made peace with her past. She stopped blaming herself for the years she spent invisible. That version of her did the best she could with what she knew. Silence had once been survival, but survival was no longer enough. She wanted fulfillment, purpose, power rooted in self-respect. Her journey didn't turn her into someone ruthless or loud. It made her unbreakable. Her strength came from knowing who she was and refusing to abandon herself again. Once invisible, Maya rose into her power, not by becoming someone else, but by finally becoming herself.